The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida.
This is episode 1B of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network. Oh my gosh, the Great Disney World Adventure Part 2.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
I'm your girl from the coast, Jemmy.
And I'm country boy Glenn, and we hope you're ready for an adventure.
We take you on our first 10-in-1 adventure in Disney World. This month, we accepted the challenge from listeners to do 10 free things in one day at Disney World. But the catch is we had to use only Disney transportation because we're crazy.
We're nuts.
Oh my gosh. So join us as we bring you by bus, boat, and monorail to the free side of the happiest place on earth.
Welcome to our world of fun. It's made for you and me. D-I-S-N-E-Y. It's the place to be.
Well, everybody, we are in the parking lot of the Dunkin' Donuts right outside the entrance to Disney World, and we are getting ready for our first adventure here on Finding Florida.
2 releases, right?
Yeah, if you missed 1A already, we're doing this kind of odd because the adventures are grouped together. We have 2 episodes every month. There's a 1A and a 1B. The B is the adventure. The 1A, we kind of go through the history of where we're going. We talk to you about all the fun facts and figures. We have all kinds of cool
fat facts.
Yeah, the fat facts and figures. And I'm looking forward to that episode too because we have a lot of segments planned with interviews, and it's all lead up to today.
Yes.
So if you missed 1A, go back and take a listen to that because it leads you in to our adventure today.
Yeah, and then speaking of our adventure, as we go around from all these different stops and exploring these different things, we're going to meet all kinds of fun people. We hope that everyone
We hope to find some fun people.
Strangers,
if we can't find fun people at Disney World, we're in
the wrong place.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with us. So yeah, we're going to try to, share some interesting facts with them, talk to them, hopefully get some other interesting voices on here along with ours. We're going to be taking pictures and recording videos.
Yeah, videos along the way. So our social media is set up.
Yeah, so go find us everywhere at Find FL Podcast. So that's on Twitter, that's on Instagram. It's also on Facebook as Finding Florida, and eventually it'll be on YouTube too. So hopefully by the time this comes out, our YouTube channel is set up. Oh my gosh, so many things to do. But yeah, we're going to be posting all of that stuff on social media. It's going to be so much fun. And actually, by the time this comes out, a lot of that will already be up, some little teaser clips. So everyone needs to go run and check that out.
We'll be filming that today.
Yeah, so excited.
And who helped us vote on this was our listeners from our previous shows. I own the Horse Radio Network and do many shows over there.
Yeah.
You have the Florida Podcast Network, and you have a couple of your own shows on there.
Right.
And we went back to our listeners, and they said, well, you got to start in Florida in the biggest tourist attraction there is, and that's Disney World.
Yeah.
But then they gave us this challenge of doing free things at Disney World.
Yes, which was layer 1.
Yeah,
just layer 1.
And then how to do it to get it done on Disney Transportation. So this is what we've done. We've kind of planned out the day. So to give you an idea, it's Saturday morning now, and it is about 7:15 a.m. And today's adventure was a logistical nightmare. To put this, it took me hours to put this together. Now, we did consult with a couple of our friends who are Disney fanatics, and they're DVC club members. They own the timeshares and the whole thing, so they've been here 1,000 times, and they gave us the free things. They kind of guided us through that. We had to figure out the transportation to get from place to place.
Right.
So we just wanted to give you a quick rundown of what we're going to be doing today. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to arrive. We're going to park at the main parking at Magic Kingdom, and then we're going to take a boat to Magic Kingdom, because you have to take a boat or monorail to get across the water.
Okay.
And then we're hoping to catch a bus back to Animal Kingdom Lodge first thing. So we're going to take the boat to the bus. And then
definitely checking off them Disney transportation boxes early.
Yes. And we're doing that because Animal Kingdom Lodge has some of the coolest animals you can see for free right from the lodge.
Yes, I'm excited.
So we're going to go check out the animals. Then we're heading back on a bus to Disney Springs, which was the old downtown Disney.
Right, which I haven't been since it's been Disney Springs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to recognize it. It's huge.
I'm excited to see
We're actually meeting one of my listeners there who's going to take pictures for us and say hi. We want to do that in the future, too.
Yes.
We want to meet you at the stops.
Yeah, we're going to try to post our agenda for the future ones up a little early, so maybe people can plan to meet us out. It'll be fun.
That'd be so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we're going to hit Disney Springs. We're going to play in Lego World.
Because dreams do come true.
And by the way, for me, that's like a germ nightmare, but I'll do it anyway.
For me,
I brought
it's a
gloves
dream come
along.
true.
I brought like rubber gloves along for Lego World.
And then I'll just put my hands all over your face.
So then right there's 3 adventures. Another adventure is the boat to Port Orleans French Quarter from and I've never done this, from Disney Springs. It's supposed to be a beautiful boat ride, so we're going to do that.
Is that the actual like ferry thing?
Yeah,
The turning
no,
wheel?
but no, it is not. But it's a boat that does take you over to Port Orleans French Quarter. And I've never been to French Quarter. Have you?
No, I've been to the real one in New Orleans, but I've never been to this one.
Jemmy
I'm
actually
really
lived
excited.
in New Orleans for a
Yeah,
while. I went
for
to
4
school
years.
there. Was an EMT there.
I was.
So you know all about the dirty, dark side.
The
of
real French Quarter.
I'm
dirty,
hoping
dark
this
side.
French Quarter doesn't present as many problems
I
as
have
your
a feeling
French
it
Quarter.
won't. I have a feeling they keep it a lot cleaner, both psychologically and sanitary.
And physically, yes. We're hoping. Then from the French Quarter, we're heading back to Magic Kingdom by bus to catch a boat to Fort
Here we go again.
to Fort Wilderness and to the petting zoo and the barns there. Of course, I'm an animal guy. I'm a horse guy on the Horse Radio Network, so I'm looking forward to saying hi to the ponies.
Me too.
Then
I'm now I'm being inaugurated into the Horse Girl Club.
Yes, we're kind of she knows a little bit. We have to take a boat back to Magic Kingdom and then a boat to the Grand Floridian, where we're going to watch the live orchestra play in the lobby of the Grand Floridian.
Which, as soon as you told me about it, I was like, oh.
You're a classical music fan.
I am. I love it. We swapped Victor Borga stories.
Let's not say that out loud.
Sorry, it's officially out there.
So we're going to do that, and then we're hoping to get there in time for that. Then the monorail back to Epcot. Now, that's one of the cool things is the monorail we have to take 2 monorails to get to Epcot. And the monorail to Epcot is the only way to get into a theme park at Disney World without an admission because it goes through it goes through Epcot.
So to actually get off and ride the ride, you'd have to break the glass and jump.
You have to break the glass and jump.
You're officially inside the park.
That's right. You're officially inside the park. So that's another adventure. Then we're going to take the monorail back to one of the first hotels I ever went to. Oh, man. This was when I was probably in my teens, and that's Polynesian Village.
So, guys, that was a really long time
ago. To Polynesian Village Resort. So we're going to go there. It's just been remodeled. I haven't seen it since. And you love sushi, so we'll probably catch some sushi for dinner there. So just seeing that. And then our last thing on the stop, if we get there in time, is Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, but for the fireworks on the beach at 9 o'clock overlooking Magic Kingdom. You can go down to the beach and you can watch the fireworks over Magic Kingdom over the lake.
This sounds like the perfect ending to what we hope is a perfect day.
Yeah, we're going to see. This is a challenge. These buses always run late.
Yeah.
The monorails always are full. The boats are always full. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge to get this done, but we're getting it done.
And we're going to take you along the entire event. You're going to hear everything, guys.
Yes. We're going to record along the way and hopefully get some cool interviews with other people along the way as well. If they'll talk to these 2 crazy people and with microphones.
We got a good thing you got
monorail.
Our official shirts.
Yes, we got our official
business cards
shirts. We're
done
ready.
in like 2 days.
We're ready.
Makes it look a little less bananas.
Let the adventure begin.
So, we have now parked only 10 minutes late into our first of our adventures, heading over to Magic Kingdom to take the boat from the transportation center to Magic Kingdom.
Well, in our defense, we started off 10 minutes early. However,
we discovered they don't really like tripods or selfie sticks or anything that we brought along, pretty much. So we had to come back to the car, drop all those off, and now we're heading back to the tram again.
You live and you learn. You live and you learn.
Off to Adventure 1. We're going to be riding the boat, the big ferry boat, from the transportation center over to Magic Kingdom to catch a bus back to Animal Kingdom. So we'll see how that goes. I think if we have one hitch in the giddy up today, there's a country term for you.
I noticed that.
I'll explain it later.
Shut up.
You guys are boarding the Heroes Tram. You guys parked in Simba, rows 119, Simba 119. Make sure you guys round it down.
All right, everybody, we are on the ferry boat, just passing. This is our first adventure of the day after having only one minor misstep earlier. And we are sort of still on time, but maybe about 5 minutes late. We're just passing right now the Grand Floridian, and we're looking ahead at Magic Kingdom, and the castle's so pretty.
Yep, and also we actually had the Polynesian as our first kind of breathtaking view. It's right next to where we got onto the ferry boat, and it's actually a gorgeous resort. And I'm enjoying this little ride. I mean, it's cool to hear the boat like horns going off and stuff.
This is always my favorite part of coming to Disney when I was a kid, is we always took the boat instead of the monorail. First, it was less crowded. And you got to view all of the hotels, which we're going to see them all later today.
Yes.
Hopefully.
One by one, we will knock them down. Not literally, but...
Yeah, hopefully. It depends how much... Now, we don't have to worry about food and drink on this as being free, right?
No, we can splurge.
We're not going to find that.
We can splurge on that if
we're not going to find that.
That's not part of the 10-in-1 challenge.
But it's a beautiful day. To set the scene for you a little bit, it was supposed to be rainy, about 100% chance of rain today all week, and right now we are at about 0% chance.
0%,
which in Florida means it's going to rain at some point
only twice,
today.
but it'll be really quick.
It's going to rain.
We'll barely notice.
So here we are. We're on our way. Stop number 1 is the ferry boat.
And it's beautiful.
And it's beautiful. You need to take it.
Yes.
Okay, we just got off the boat and the ferry boat over to Magic Kingdom. We ran over to catch the bus to Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is our second adventure of the day. And go see all of the wild animals over there. And the bus was waiting right here for us. We didn't have to wait at all.
So today is Saturday the 14th, which means that yesterday was Friday the 13th. And we had, between the two of us, just a slew of random mishaps, right? And we were looking forward to today, that we were expecting the worst weather. But today, everything has just really aligned for us. It's been one thing after another, and this bus coming like right as we got here is just another thing. I think we're going to have a great day.
We are. And we're right on time.
We're right on time, which is already amazing in and of itself.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that'll change.
As morning breaks on the savannah, giraffe and zebra awake, and the rhythms of the wild give life to an exotic world. Incredibly, this is not Africa. It's a resort hotel.
Well, we are on time.
Can you believe it? The trend continues.
We're actually early.
I know.
We had a very lovely bus driver, drove 100 miles an hour to get us here. So that was...
I mean, it was a thing to witness. It really was. we were the only ones on, so I guess she figured if they both died, then there's no other witnesses.
We are at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is absolutely beautiful when you come into the lobby. It is just gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, it's breathtaking. The architecture that they chose for inside perfectly matches the environment outside. It's just beautiful.
And of course, this is set after a South African wildlife reserve lodge, kind of the South African feel to the whole thing. And it was built in 2001. So this one was built a while ago. There are 4 savannas here where you can watch the animals, and you can get the balcony rooms, so you can sit out and drink your coffee in the morning and watch the giraffes and the zebras.
But what you can do for free is what we did.
Yes. which is come down the steps and actually go see the savannas and the animals yourself.
Yes, on their overlooks they're called, and you just walk out onto the kind of, the little open area there. There's a fence keeping you safe from the animals, but they're far
they didn't
off.
Look vicious, I gotta say.
No, I know. They did not look vicious. Looked like we could have quite the head running start if we needed it. But yeah, they're beautiful out there, and they're just kind of grazing and doing their thing.
There's up to 500 animals. We're going to hear more about that from somebody we found along the way, one of the guides. Let's take a listen.
And we were checking out some animals, and we found Mingaya from Namibia, and she has a wonderful accent and a wonderful smile, and she's here working as one of the cast members at Disney. So tell us a little bit about the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Mingana from Windhoek, Namibia, and I work as a Savannah guide at Animal Kingdom Lodge. And here we have 4 overlooks, which is 2 in Jumbo House and 2 in Kidani. And in total, we have about 500 animals, and in each savannah, there's about 100 to 150 animals, including the birds as well. So in the specific overlook we are standing on now, this is the Arusha overlook, which is one of the big ones in Jumbo House, and they have what we see now is a giraffe. We have impalas. We have water bucks here, roan antelopes. We have blue cranes, the Egyptian goose, and we also have the final one is wildebeest. The wildebeest.
Do you get to help take care of the animals at all, or
No, we don't work with the animals. We have the keepers for that because those ones are more
you have
trained.
quite a few keepers here too?
Oh, yes, we are those
20
ones.
some or
Yeah,
they're-
up to 25 at any time and 4 managers at any time,
Yeah.
like all
Yeah.
working together to keep it straight with these
Very
animals.
correct, very correct. And we also have our own operating system, so in case if one of them get injured, they don't have to go far. They have it at Animal Kingdom, the park. They have a whole station
Oh,
for that.
wow.
So they just take them there. and they
Medical
get
center right here.
Very good.
And
yeah.
are the animals here separate from what's at the park at Animal Kingdom?
Yes,
Park?
they are definitely separate. They are not connected in any way. However, if something does happen to one of our savannas and there's no space, some can go on the other side because they have a little bit of a larger space than here.
What are some of the crazy questions you've gotten asked about the animals?
The first one I go and I
I
started
knew you'd have an answer. We knew
was if I have lions in my backyard. But no,
Do you?
no, I don't. I wish.
You live in the city, right?
Yeah, I live in the city, yes. But I mean, it depends on which part of the area of the country you go to. There are people that live, especially with the elephants. The lions are different because lions are predators. They don't really like being around humans that much. But the elephants are very close to the people because they grow crops and they want to eat the crops.
Interesting.
So they come to the crops. So the elephants, you'll see a lot.
So what brought you to Florida? How did you end up here?
Disney. So
Disney.
You
yeah,
wanted to work here?
Yeah, so
Was it an outreach
Disney's.
program they did?
Yeah, so what happens is that you find them online, you apply online, and then they call you for an interview, and then you show up for the interview, and then after like a couple of months, you're called
Wonderful.
and
Well, I don't know about Glenn, but I personally think that they are very lucky to have you.
Yes,
You're
yes.
wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's an amazing place, but it's coming to an end though.
You're
My
heading
last
out?
day is
Yeah?
next week.
Oh, really? Are you heading back to Namibia?
Yep.
Yeah?
I'm finishing, so it's just a 1-year program, and
Wow,
Yeah.
we're
What's
lucky
next
to have
for
caught
you?
My
Do you know?
goodness.
I did study travel and tourism, so hopefully I just continue what I'm doing now.
With animals on the savannah. Same
Exactly.
thing.
Ah, there
Bigger
you go.
savannah.
Yeah, more wilder, more open,
Less
so that is
control.
less control and everything. That one is more risky and scarier, but I think it's nicer. It's nicer because then you get to see the chase and you get to see.
It's more
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah,
and-
you get to see everything.
Well, we
so.
can't wait to come over and see you over there.
You should. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You guys should come.
Well, she was delightful. As a matter of fact, we cornered her after and tried to convince her to do a podcast in South Africa because she's going back.
Because we
or in
both walked
Namibia.
away. Yeah, we both
Yeah.
walked away and said she needs her own show.
Yeah, she was absolutely delightful. She really was, and it was nice of her to agree to do this.
So I went back and shoved a business card in it.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Well, there's 4 of those savannas here, and they have a unique way to call in the animals for breakfast and dinner.
Yeah.
And they use a different whistle call for each one and for each savanna so that the animals don't get confused. They know which one is theirs.
It's really cool. I mean, their whole property spans about 30 acres of land. So for them to have a really interesting way that's so natural for the animals to be able to participate in, but with just a little training, to be able to call them all that way to their different pens, they know when they're being fed is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And by the way, my favorite restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants in almost all of Disney World is Boma, which is the Boma restaurant here, which is a buffet, but they serve all kinds of different food from Africa. And it is absolutely wonderful. And we just found out off the air from our little friend that we just talked to that it may be Americanized a bit. She said it's much spicier in Africa. She said it's much spicier there. But Boma is a great place to eat if you're looking for a place to eat. It is not free, but
No. So we will not be eating there
we
today.
will not be eating there today. But you have to take the trip over here. We caught a bus from Magic Kingdom. You can catch buses from anywhere. You can drive over here and park either way.
Yeah, it was actually really easy to get over here.
And definitely do one of the restaurants here. They're all very good. And it's so quiet to come out and hang out with the animals in the afternoon. And if you want to get a room here, a Savannah room, you will pay a mere $475 to $700 a night.
Doable. I just change of plans.
Not for
I'm
us.
staying here
Doable
tonight.
for other people. Not on our Finding Florida podcast budget. All right, everybody.
Sponsors calling.
We are next off to Disney Springs. We have to go try and catch a bus for there. So we'll see you there.
Chug chug.
Welcome to Disney Springs, a world-class destination where you can experience unique boutiques, one-of-a-kind flagship stores, waterfront dining, and unforgettable entertainment you can't find anywhere else.
Well, we just caught the bus from Animal Kingdom Lodge to Disney Springs, and we got lucky. We were right on time. Although we ended up on one of our fourth stop, really. Disney Springs is our third, which is the shopping and eating mecca here at Disney World. And we got stuck in Legoland because Jemmy is a Lego crazy.
And it's my personal mecca.
Yes.
It's Legoland.
She was having so much fun in there, and we got to spend like 2 minutes. So
good.
But we did make little Lego people. We'll post those in the show notes. You'll see our little Lego people in there. This just underwent a complete overhaul over here at Disney Springs. Used to be downtown Disney, and they've doubled the size. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on this place.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that this is actually, the property has been here since 1975. So
it was something else at the beginning, too. It was Buena Vista shopping. Yeah.
Village. Yeah, so it's been here a long time and gone through a couple different overhauls. But yeah, most recently it's really expanded, and now it's Disney Springs, which... I'm sorry, but it's really hot. They need to do something else to make it more springy, so it's not so hot. It's super hot already.
And, you know, it's they have some unique things here. The Coca-Cola store, where you can go and try like 1,000 different varieties of Coca-Cola at the top.
Including frozen versions of your favorites, so yum, yum.
You can do that. They have an ATM machine that dispenses cupcakes. We haven't found that yet, but we're looking.
I mean, come on, people. Maps are necessary for this alone.
And they have a ton of restaurants here now, terrific restaurants and everything. I recommend reservations when you're coming over here, especially for dinner.
Definitely.
For lunch, you can catch, there's a lot of different things you can do for lunch. But we also have people that came out to meet us today. They are listeners of mine, actually, over on the Horse Radio Network. And that's Roger and Jessica. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Now, you're from Orlando, right?
We live in Orlando now, yes, and I grew up in Florida.
What part of Florida?
In Tallahassee.
Oh, yeah, we were up north then. And where'd you grow up, Roger?
Part of my life in New York, and then moved down to Atlanta, and then in
where
Florida.
You met the horse girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I got down to Florida eventually, so.
Well, one of the fun things we want to do on the shows is meet random strangers or people we actually know and ask them trivia questions about the locations we're at. So, Jemmy, do you have some ready?
I have some ready, but first, I just want to preface this for our listeners by saying, Jessica, you must make your confession on recording. How many times have you been to Magic Kingdom?
For the record, 0.
Oh, good. Ask her all Magic Kingdom questions then. We want all Magic Kingdom questions.
Oh my gosh, you got it. Okay. In Dumbo, where is Mrs. Jumbo when the stork delivers her baby? Do you remember where? Yeah, flashback to that movie, long time ago.
Have you ever seen that, Roger?
I feel like I have.
Please tell me you two have seen Roger Rabbit. I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had to.
I
It was there. I had to do it.
Yes, I have.
Okay,
if we didn't mention the obvious.
Yes, I mean, geez, guys.
But imagine there's a stork flying through the air and it's dropping babies. And where does it drop the baby to Mrs. Jumbo, baby Jumbo?
In the chimney?
In the elephant stable?
And your final answer? We'll go within the elephant stable. She sounded more confident than the chimney.
And the answer is wrong. So you're kind of close. It's the elephant car on the circus train. So I'll give you partial credit out of the kindness of my heart.
I said elephant. Yeah, I wouldn't have got that. So half a point.
All right.
Stork. Yeah.
All right. Now this one I can't imagine you're gonna get, but it's kind of a fun one. A really good trivia thing. But before Mickey Mouse, what Disney character was suggested to be the sorcerer's apprentice in Fantasia?
Ding, 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 ding. They got nothing.
And the answer is Dopey.
Dopey?
I know, right? It totally would have had a totally different feel, wouldn't it?
We're not doing very
That
well.
would have been
So, well, here's one. I'm going to challenge you guys. Can you guys name all 7 dwarves?
Between
This is
two
off
of
the
you,
top of the
two of
dome.
You should be able to get it.
Stinky.
Okay.
I don't think Stinky was in the list. No.
No. Grumpy. Dopey.
There you go. Answer for the
Sleepy.
last one. There
Sleepy.
you go.
Sneezy.
There you go.
This is where it gets tough. Give her a hint.
We're in the place known for it.
Happy?
Okay, we get 2 more.
That's a good hint. Two more.
And that feeling you get when you know someone's about to put a microphone in your face and you get really nervous about it. You get very
Shy?
close. It's a synonym.
Bashful?
Yeah.
Oh!
All right,
And I have no idea what I've lost track. So we're just, I know, but if you're feeling sick, you go to one of these.
A doctor?
Shorten it.
Doc.
Yay! So for the recap, sleepy,
All right.
grumpy, sneezy, bashful doc. I had to do that.
Look at you. I'm impressed.
What is the name of the dragon, the god wannabe, in Mulan who provided his voice? What was the name of the actor who provided his voice?
Was it Eddie Murphy?
Ding, 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 ding! You win a prize of...
We have no idea what that prize is.
Accolades.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today, and we're going to encourage our listeners in our future stops. We'll be publishing them ahead of time. We'd love to meet you for whatever we're doing in that particular town, and we're going to be back to Orlando doing other Orlando stuff at some point in the future.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. We would not miss a chance to come back and just focus on Orlando. Yeah.
Well, right now we have to head over to Ghirardelli Chocolate. That's our lunch, so we're getting that for lunch, and then we're heading on a boat over to Port Orleans, the French Quarter, and Jemmy spent 4 years in New Orleans. So this is going to be like going home. You have to have an alcoholic beverage when you're there.
I just can't bring the alcoholic out for more than one drink.
We'll hit French Quarter first, and then after that, Riverside. So it'll take about 12 to 15 minutes to get to French Quarter from here. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
We're on the boat heading from Disney Springs to the French Quarter.
Yeah. Port Orleans.
Port Orleans, because Jemmy lived in New Orleans for 4 years, so this is going to be like going back home.
Which I'm sad to say I've actually never been back to New Orleans, so that's like the closest thing I've done in a very long time.
But we're on the boat heading there, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Because it's an enjoyable ride. But we met Ken here from Cincinnati, who's on the boat with us here as well.
Actually, to be honest, Jessica and Roger, who are still with us, are such magnets of personality.
That's it.
That Ken sat next to them, and we've been eavesdropping on their conversation. We turned around and said, "Hey, Ken, can we talk to you too, please? Us too, please."
So, Ken, your son works at Disney?
Yeah, actually, I have two boys that work for Disney, so I come down here every couple of weeks or once a month to visit. And as you were questioning what to do, we find all the things to do in one day that you could possibly think of. So we obviously did downtown Disney today, or now Disney Springs, and we actually brought a relative of ours with us that hasn't been here before since he was 12, and he's now like 50. So this has all changed, so we're cramming everything in one day because he only has about 6 hours. So we're doing Disney in 6 hours.
Basically, you're following us around today. Now, what is there to do at Port Orleans? Why don't you like it?
Well, for the granddaughter, there's the pool that's there. She loves walking around that, the alligators, the playground area, and she likes the restaurant. She especially likes they have what do you call it?
Beignets?
No, this like strawberry yogurt that she likes. So I always treat her to strawberry yogurt. And just walking around the grounds. She just loves to run around, and that's a great place. We also love some of the other resorts that we'll go to, like the Floridian, or our favorite dinners, the Polynesian. You got to have that. The Ohana's is the best.
We're going to be at both of those today. We're going to try and catch the orchestra at Grand Floridian in the afternoon, and then we're going to watch the fireworks from the Polynesian tonight. That's going to end our day. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Absolutely love Disney.
Nestled along the Sassagoula River, there's a tranquil place where Southern hospitality meets up with the revelry of Mardi Gras. These are Disney's Port Orleans resorts, Riverside and French Quarter.
All right, guys, so we just got off the boat at French Quarter, Port Orleans. Guys, some of you may know that I used to live in New Orleans. That's where I went to
4
college.
years, right?
Yeah, 4 whole years for college. And I haven't been back since, sad to say. And a lot has happened since 2001. Oh, I just dated myself, didn't I? Anyway, but it's nice to... Shut up. It's nice to actually walk out here and see basically a sense of what I consider like my second home. The streets on here, the architecture, everything really does look authentically New Orleans.
No, it's not quite totally authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it doesn't have the smell and the garbage and that throw up in every alley.
The drunk person pissing on the side of the road.
Yes, all of that.
All of that is missing. However,
it's very nice.
I'll be honest, they did their best. I mean, this is South Florida. It doesn't quite carry the same, what would we just call it? Character.
It's Disney. It's not Disney.
Disney.
Yeah. But we are sitting in a bar.
We found the one bar, and there's no one in here.
There's no one in here.
I mean, there are lots of
Jessica
people
and Roger who aren't making enough noise to make it sound like a bar. Can you carry on a little bit, Becca?
Oh my God.
Can you go behind there and find something? Apparently they don't drink early here at the French Quarter because we were hoping for alcohol.
But even this bar is really authentically New Orleans. I'm looking at the decor inside, and it has ceilings that look like New Orleans, old fancy European style stuff. It was like they really did do a good job. I have to give them kudos for making it feel a little bit like New Orleans over here.
This was 2 hotels they made into one. The first one was started in 1991, and Dixie Landings, it was Port Orleans, and then Dixie Landings also was started, and they combined the 2 hotels now to make, get this, guys, it's a 325-acre with 3,056 rooms. It's huge.
That's a lot of rooms.
Huge. One of the most popular attractions here, though, is Yeehaw Bob. He performs here. He's so popular. Every Disney regular knows about Yeehaw Bob. I, unfortunately, have never seen him because I've never been available in the evening to do it. But he has evening shows like 8 and 10, and he plays the piano, and he is hilarious. He's just hilarious, and he gets the whole audience involved, and they're all drinking and having a good time. It's very New Orleans. And the one cool thing about his piano, and I'm going to play a clip from him here shortly, so you get to hear Yeehaw Bob, but the one cool thing about his piano is it's on a rocker. So it's a rocking piano. So he's playing this the whole time while the piano's rocking back and forth. That's crazy.
This is the kind of crazy stuff you would see in New Orleans. So it makes a lot of sense.
So let's take a listen to Yeehaw Bob.
Sherman Brothers, see if you know this one. In the deep, put your right arm, and shake it all down. You do the whole turn yourself around. Turn yourself around. Backside in, put your backside out, put your backside in, with your legs chicken out. Turn yourself around.
So as you heard, I mean, there's certain sounds and flares and personalities that are very typical New Orleans, and I think he pretty much nails it. But there's not only just that reminds me of my past and my world, but at the same time, there's something about this place that can remind you of your world. They also have horse-drawn carriage rides.
That's right, they do, and it's one of the only 2 places. They have it at Fort Wilderness, which we're going to be at in a couple of stops from now.
Yeah.
They have the carriage rides there every evening around the campground, and it's along the waterfront here because the boat ride over was beautiful. So, and it's very Florida. This boat ride over is very Florida. It's all woods, and it's neat. And the carriage ride down along the water would be pretty, but you would need to reserve that in advance, right?
Like 100. Get this, guys. 180-day advance. Booking.
You really have to know you're coming here. But you know what? This hotel's not that expensive in Disney terms. From $200 to $350 a night is not bad in Disney terms.
It's not bad at all.
Yep.
And so, you're right. The boat ride was very Florida. Port Orleans is very New Orleans. And I must say, it really reminds me of being back in New Orleans. Except the only thing I can say is, like I said, we're in a bar right now, and it's empty. And that's the big difference, because a bar in New Orleans, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it would already be packed.
It's never
empty.
Just
saying.
So right now, we have accomplished 6 of our goals.
Oh, my gosh.
And we're at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The weather is holding. It's absolutely one of the most beautiful days we've had in Florida in a long time.
Beautiful.
It's not hot. The breeze is blowing and it's not hot. So the pool here looks luscious too. I could have just laid down and had a nap after that Ghirardelli chocolate we didn't have because my wife didn't know about that. We didn't have a Ghirardelli chocolate.
It was an air sundae.
That's right. But we're heading right now, we're getting on a bus, and then we're getting on a boat. We're getting on a bus to Magic Kingdom, and then we're taking a boat to Fort Wilderness to the petting zoo and the barns there. So we're going to go say hi to the horses.
Have some horse time. All right, guys, this is Jemmy, we have just taken the bus to get from Port Orleans to Magic Kingdom. And we're about to hop a boat to get to our next stop, which is Fort Wilderness. But in the meantime, we met up with some fantastic ladies. It was Joy, April, and Tanya, and they're just a lot of fun. And what's really funny is I just found out that they live in places I used to live. So I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you guys are from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Isn't that a coincidence? Just happened to be in the same conversation as I just said that. And then Tanya you've lived in where?
New Orleans.
Oh my gosh, and I was just talking about New Orleans because we were at Port Orleans. What did it feel like being there? Because I know how it felt like for me. It felt like a little bit cartoon, like a caricature version of New Orleans, but I think they nailed it.
Well, it's a little feel like home because of the wrought iron.
Yeah.
When you walk the street, you see the wrought iron, and then you see the horses down the street.
It doesn't smell anything like New Orleans.
No, but I'm not. Hey, I'm going to put a positive twist on my city. So.
There you go. Absolutely.
Did you try the beignets?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't tried it. We just got here.
Yeah.
What
Today.
are you doing here? Why are you at Disney?
We're actually staying here for one night. We're doing the monorail bar crawl to head contemporary, Floridian, and the Polynesian.
Cups, but I'm not thinking there was coffee in any of them.
Oh, we just got a sneak peek of what was in there. I see no coffee.
That's because it's empty.
We drank all of it.
That's not what I just smelled. All right.
Well, maybe your coffee.
Listen.
We do a different blend than you do.
100% we're here for Bruno Mars tonight.
Where's
in
Bruno?
Orlando.
Amway Center tonight.
What brought us here for a
And we're staying
girls
on Disney
trip?
property because really it's Disney.
Right.
Yeah.
It's my first visit to visit Disney.
Hence the pins.
I don't normally
Who's
wear this.
more in love with
First
Bruno
visit.
Mars?
Who's the most in love with Bruno Mars here?
Joy.
Joy?
Do you have the life size cut out?
No, of course not. Does anyone?
Not anymore.
I'll take one.
You got one. I'll take
We know the truth. We know the truth. So what else are you guys getting into right now? What are you guys headed off to do?
Eat lunch at the Polynesian.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
We have
great.
to do that
Sushi?
Possibly.
I don't know yet.
Shrimp,
Possibly.
probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
A big
Yes.
coconut drink, hopefully.
I think most definitely.
Coconut at the Polynesian, but we want to go to Trader Sam's Grotto.
Yes.
We have never been there.
That's where we're
and
gonna
that
end our
is- That's our
evening
ultimate
before.
spot at the end of the night for our last drink before we Uber it to Bruno Mars.
So you have a whole drink plan set up for today. And we must exchange numbers for my next visit. This is happening.
Hang out.
Look, we have like pull tabs, you know.
Oh my gosh,
look
because
at
she just
this.
broke out a
Oh,
piece of
you
paper
do.
to check off their stops for their drinking bonanza.
Oh, wait a
And we
minute.
have drink specials.
And then they have
Oh, they have
got
them all
me a
printed
plan.
out.
The whole monorail
Everywhere.
plan.
Oh my gosh, these ladies are serious.
We're ready.
Not amateurs by any stretch of the imagination.
I am from New Orleans, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How about the drink?
I'm wondering if any of you are going to be able to remember any of Bruno Mars' concert
We're
tonight.
pacing ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Well, we are not amateurs.
Birthday drinking. That's what we do.
I didn't say that.
Something tells me these ladies understand priorities. And the drinks are a priority, but Bruno Mars, I feel like, takes the cake.
Yeah, that's our. That's the cherry on top. That's the cherry on top. tonight. Yeah, this is pacing.
Normally we would be
didn't have our schedule and we could do theirs.
I know, we would totally break off with you, but we have like 5 more stops,
We're
I
gonna
think,
end
left.
With the Polynesian tonight for the fireworks on the
Y'all
beach.
must have started a lot earlier than we did.
Yeah, we did,
Well,
but
we had a 2.5-hour drive to get here.
Well, you guys have a blast, all right?
enjoy the rest of your time. Thank you for stopping and conversating with us a little bit.
Slow down and get away from it all in a place where the great outdoors take center stage. This is Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground.
Well, we are at Fort Wilderness now. It is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We are only running half an hour late at this point.
Which is pretty good for us, considering it's us.
So we're still going to get all our 10 stops in, that's for sure. But Fort Wilderness is kind of my home away from home. There's horse smell, there's fences, there's ponies. They're giving a horse a bath right over here to get him ready for the carriage rides tonight. They also have, I don't know if you noticed, a Clydesdale right behind there. For anybody that wants to come out to the campgrounds, there's 750 acres, tons of wet sites. I mean, you stayed here before. It's huge.
It's so big. I mean, when we stayed here, we didn't really pay attention to the campgrounds as much because we were all into showing Jordan the park.
And you were at the cabins.
Yeah, but we did stay at the cabins, which were beautifully appointed, I might say. But, you know, after on the way out, we actually drove around and got to see all the fun things you could do here. Like, they have a massive water park.
They have a water park.
It's incredible.
They have the horses. You can take horseback rides.
Of course, yep.
You can take carriage rides in the evening. You can go down to the petting zoo.
You can cycle around or golf cart it around and just have a nice leisurely day about it.
There's a beautiful beach here.
You can do volleyball and stuff like. I mean, there's so much to do here. It really can be like your own vacation in and of itself. I think a lot of people actually do that. They pitch their tents. You know, it's actually neat. You can actually walk through like the little tent cities and the stuff.
It is cool. We've done a whole show on our Horses in the Morning show on the Horse Radio Network. We did a whole show where we recorded it from here. And the lady Robin, who, thank you very much, Robin, is the manager here of the operations at Fort Wilderness for the horses. And she had the original photo books of Walt Disney because he was a huge horse guy and he used to show from the 1940s and 50s.
That's crazy.
And she showed us the original photo books. It was so cool.
I can
really
only
neat.
imagine.
He was a big horse guy. He always wanted horses at the parks. It was one of the things he wanted forever was that there be horses at the parks. And so far there is.
And it's so appropriate that on this very first adventure, if we of course incorporate horses for Glenn.
So definitely check out Fort Wilderness. We are now going to go on a boat and then a monorail over to the Grand Floridian, which is the most expensive resort here, and we're hoping to see the symphony orchestra that plays for free at 5:15.
Yes.
So we have to run.
That's one of my favorite things. So we should go.
Well, hi, everybody. I hope you can hear us. We are at the Grand Floridian Resort. We just took a boat to get to the Grand Floridian. 2 boats to get here.
2 boats.
And we're listening to an orchestra that's playing, that's here every day, that you can listen to in the afternoon. And you're a classical music fan, aren't you?
I am such a classical music buff. It's not even funny.
Where'd that start for a hip-hop girl?
I'm not a hip-hop girl. Oh, well, okay, so I am. But orchestra, man, my parents used to play classical music when we were kids in the house. So I started with that. And then I also got introduced to a man who I adore and would love to meet one day named John Williams. He writes the scores for a ton of different movies. And
you and my wife both.
Oh, God. So I love all that stuff. So I've always loved it. So hearing this orchestra play live is fantastic.
And this is a beautiful hotel. I mean, it is very ritzy.
It's well appointed, as they say in more refined circles.
Yes, it's very appointed. And it's beautiful at Christmas. When we make our Christmas tour here once a year at Disney, we come to the Grand Floridian because they put a tree up that's like 40 feet tall. And they build a full-size gingerbread house out of gingerbread in the lobby.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But this place is definitely one that draws attention for all the right reasons. I mean, I've never seen it from inside the property before. I've only kind of seen it from dockside.
Yeah.
But so to actually walk through the property this time and see all the different buildings.
There's a reason people get married here, huh?
I mean, yeah. And so I had heard and seen the area where they do get married, that hall. And they purposely designed it so that the bride and groom have a backdrop of the castle, Cinderella's famous castle. So, but to come into the property itself and see how beautiful it all is, it's
and
just, such southern charm. It's no wonder people get married here. Absolutely.
This was designed after the Del Coronado Hotel in California. And it was, there's actually behind the desk at the Grand Floridian the original keys used by the resort when they first started, and they switched to the programmable keys, but they kept the keys.
Which is so neat.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. And then also they have birds here, and the bird cage is empty right now, but they have birds here in a huge 20-foot bird cage.
I mean, to give you perspective, so we're sitting right now with the elevator shaft to our right, kind of behind us to
In
the
the
right.
lobby.
And opposite of it is the birdcage, and just about equal width and size as the
Yes.
elevator shaft.
It
It's
is
huge.
something else.
It kind of looks like, you know what it reminds me of? A little bit in decor. It reminds me of Ming's the famous Chinese theater. You know what I'm
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
Yeah, it reminds me of that a little bit, but all gold.
All gold.
All gold and one white bars. It's beautiful.
You know, they filmed many episodes of the Hulk Hogan show. Thunder in Paradise here were filmed at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, and I also heard that like the best club sandwich in all of Disney. I heard a little rumor that it's located right here in the cafe.
At the cafe.
Oh.
Now, it cost you $120.
I mean, pennies for the taste.
You know, the restaurant here is what is, I think, the most expensive in all of, it's called Victoria and Albert's, in all of Disney World. And it will cost you, well, I'll give you an idea, if you wanted to do the 10-course meal, which you have to do the 7-course or the 10-course. If you wanted to do the 10-course meal with wine pairings, it's $340 a person.
I mean, it's just like a normal Saturday evening for me. I don't know about you, but
And
I do that every week.
I did look at what they served, and I determined I would only eat about one thing. So it probably would be a waste of money.
Exactly your taste.
No, it'd probably be a waste of money, that's for sure.
But as you can hear the orchestra playing behind us, one other little fun tidbit about the Floridian, the Grand Floridian, is that Disney's only full-time harpist is right here. Plays all day long, and that's pretty cool. I love a good harp every once in a while. And, you know, so I kind of think that's kind of cool.
They do some really cool things, as I said, at Christmas time. If you're coming here for Christmas, stop in the Grand Floridian. It's definitely worth seeing. It's decorated to the hilt.
If you're coming here anytime,
Yeah,
stop in the
stop
Grand
there.
Floridian. It's just beautiful. In fact, right before the orchestra started playing, there was a guy playing at the grand piano, and I loved it. It was beautiful. He was very, dressed in a tux.
Do you feel underdressed,
everything.
by the way, here?
Well, it's
A little
Disney.
bit.
I don't know how much they can expect from us as we're walking through parks. It's not like I'm going to be walking through in a tux or
We do
suit.
have a goal, though, at this point in the day. We are at number 8, I believe, on the hit parade.
Yeah.
And see how I put that reference?
I
You
noticed,
see that?
yeah.
Yep.
Is that what you did
So
there?
we're number 8 on the hit parade today. We have 3 more things to do.
Yeah.
We're going to have a bonus today, not
Yeah.
just 10, but 11. We're going to hit the monorail out to Epcot next. And then we're going to head over we're going to end the night at the Polynesian Resort. We're going to try and catch some dinner, hopefully, or something over there.
Yeah.
And then we're going to watch the fireworks on the beach.
I mean, we're hoping for the bonus, guys. First episode out.
And our schedule, we've been keeping to it pretty good.
I know!
We've been doing pretty well.
I know, and I'm just as shocked as the listeners are, I'm sure.
But our goal right now is to stop recording and to head up and get a cocktail right behind where they're playing at the orchestra.
Please, dear Lord, I need it
Because
at this
I'm really
point.
thirsty right now. So everybody, we might be a little happy by the next time we talk to you again.
In the happiest place on earth.
So here we are, we're on the monorail, we're on challenge number 9. We have one more to go. We're going to watch the fireworks tonight yet at 9 o'clock, and you can hear the monorail. You can hear them going.
2 more to go technically, because one is the lobby at Polynesian. We got to give that its due credit. And then the second one
He's
is...
saying we don't. So tell us.
It
your name
is Rob.
Rob and
Penny.
Penny, and you're from New York.
New York.
Strong Island. Let's
Strong
give them
Island.
credit.
Yes. And we were at the Polynesian, and they had nothing but smoke there today.
Had a fire?
I had a kitchen fire. The one bar was closed down. The gift shop.
We're doomed. The bar's closed.
Oh, no. That was my whole point.
And the gift
That was
shop
my mission.
did not have a fire sale, which I was very depressed
Oh,
about.
come on now,
Because
people.
it was smoke.
No smoke,
And
no.
Trader Sam's was a 2.5-hour wait, so we just
Tell
gave it
everybody
all
what
up.
Trader Sam's is.
Trader Sam's is a little getaway bar. It looks like a little door in the Polynesian, and you enter into it, and it's a great little bar. You have
Like a
some nice
secret
cocktails. Like a secret
club.
little bar. Yeah.
Down below.
It's wonderful. But we ended up going to the Floridian because we had a nice orchestra.
Yeah, we got
had
to
a few drinks there, and it was wonderful.
Now, you're DVC members.
Yes.
Manténganse alejado de las puertas. Oh, wait. So you're DVC members. Why? You love coming here so much?
We've been DVC members for 15 years, and
You were in early then when it was cheap.
At the beach club. Yeah, at the beach club. And with the kids, it was great.
But now
still to this day, it's still great because now I'm allowed to buy season passes. So the first run I pay for. The second run, the flight is on points. The hotel is free.
Wow.
I'm into the parks free. So all I have to pay is food. So it only cost me like $3,000 between liquor and food. So
can you?
And that's mostly liquor, I'm guessing.
Can you plan my life because you seem to be making right decisions?
It's wonderful now. And my kids hated Disney when they were in their teens. Now they're all coming back.
Well, they have their own kids now?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm footing the bill.
And they use our points.
Yeah, and I'm footing the bill. Yeah, but
now
it's
they
okay.
appreciate
it. Yeah. So, but our plans is, I want to be a burden on my kids when I get old enough, and
there you go.
So I got to give in a little bit. I got to.
At $3,000 worth of booze in one night, you will be.
Yeah.
So now you're heading out to Epcot for Food and Wine, and tell us your method of doing Food and Wine because everybody has their own.
Okay, we start in Mexico with Patron shots.
So right off the bat, diving deep.
And usually what really gets us is Germany, because after doing like a couple of 22-ounce Dinkels and Jägermeister shots, you're kind of really crawling to Italy. So it's like,
All right, so skip the Polynesian and its burnt out kitchen and bars, and let's go drinking. That's fun.
Yeah. We skipped Norway, right? We skipped Norway. We skipped China, Japan.
You don't want any sake tonight?
Japan.
Get your Asian countries right.
Right. Japan, they have
You will not be on the Finding Asia podcast.
Japan has the sake sampling in the back of the gift shop and stuff like that. So we hanged out there for a while. Yeah.
So what do you finish with? You're heading toward England. You're heading toward Canada.
Never made it to England. That's all. It's a goal.
All right.
But
you have to start from backwards in order to get to England.
It's France, because France, they have Grey Goose slushies or Grand Marnier slushies, which are wonderful, and the champagne, of course.
Whoa.
You're never going to get there if you start in Mexico.
Yeah.
So, Penny, let me ask you the truth, though. At the end of the night of doing this, because you guys have clearly done this multiple times, at the end of the night, which one is carrying the other? Who's carrying who?
Well, last time it got bad, both of us carried each other and barely made it back to the room.
Do you rent a wheelchair for this?
I mean, really?
And one time we came just the two of us, but we ran into 16 friends.
No way.
And it was raining it was raining all day that day. And we hit Germany, and Penny never had Jägermeister shots. So after the Jägermeister shots,
oh yeah, they are.
We went to Norway, and they actually kicked us out of Norway.
You got kicked out of Norway.
They did.
That's impressive.
Did, because we were making fun. Yeah, because the old ride. You know how you come in and it used to be that theater?
Oh, was the boat ride there that used to be there?
Yeah, the boat ride. And
now it's frozen, right?
Yeah. And the theater used to be always empty. So it was pouring out, and it was so crowded, and so we started making fun of the people.
What else are you gonna do?
Of course you did. After a few Jaegers, that's what you do.
Yeah.
He said he knew they were in there because it was raining out, not to see the movie.
Right. Yeah. So they asked us to leave.
Yeah.
So we left. Yeah.
My guess is we're going to see a repeat in some country tonight of that. Yeah.
Well, tomorrow's the heavy night for us because we're back again.
You go 2 days in a row.
No, we go like 4 days.
Oh, 4 days to Food and Wine.
We stand corrected.
Do you actually eat? Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for being.
Crazy must be so surprised.
If we were at beach, we'd be there every night.
Yeah. We're staying at the Animal Kingdom to check out Avatar for the grandchildren and stuff like that.
Now I got to ask you, do you have any of the favorite foods at Food and Wine? Do you actually eat anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's the trick to getting all this done? Like, what's the food trick part of it?
The food part, as far as getting it all done, as far as monetary, we get the
throwing
food,
up, absorbing some alcohol.
we get the food plan.
Okay.
They give you 2 snacks per person. So 7 days is X amount of snacks, which they allow you to trade those in for the food
at Epcot for the festival, which are little like appetizer portions.
Right. Yeah. Which is like $8 instead of a $4 snack. So you get your money back. So it's really cool. It's really worth it. Obviously, Disney hasn't caught on to that yet, so
They will. Yeah.
so we're hoping they don't cut that out because that's a nice little plus.
So we should edit this out of the podcast.
France always had the best beef at France, beef bourguignon. Oh.
Yeah, my favorite is they got Spain back this year, and Ireland they used to have this
A seafood pie.
Seafood pie, which was outrageous, and of course Australia with the rack of lamb, which is just really good, really good.
Making me very hungry.
We should rethink our evening.
We would if the challenge was to do free stuff.
Yeah, we kind of have to pay to get in.
By the time we get to Germany, last time that we went and it was raining out, I had a poncho on and I was so wasted. I was eating a pretzel hot dog in the middle of the rain where it's pouring. It was just bad.
Oh man.
Now is
there any video of this?
We're about to Epcot here, and this is the only way you can get into a Disney park without an admission, is through the monorail through Epcot. We're about to do that right now, actually. So we'll go by Spaceship Earth, which I still go to every time we come to the park. 1,000 times I've been up there.
On Spaceship Earth, I get to take a little nap. I get to change my socks. So it's pretty cool.
It is, after you've had a few. It's kind of relaxing. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you joining us.
Lush vegetation, white sand beaches, and the laid-back spirit of the islands are the inspiration behind Disney's Polynesian Village Resort.
Well, we are here on the beach at Polynesian Village Resort.
Yes, and it's beautiful. It's actually kind of fitting that we end the day of our first trip at the beach.
Yeah, no, it is kind of fitting, actually. We went from horses to the beach.
There you
country
go.
to coast.
Nice, perfect.
Country to the coast. We are our last stop, and we have accomplished 11 things today.
Yeah, we have.
We just saw Polynesian Village. We ate dinner there. That was not free, but we ate dinner there. And we saw the remodel. Now, it did smell a little like smoke.
A little bit. Something was lingering for sure.
Yeah, Tom had mentioned that earlier in the show.
So. But all the kitchens apparently are open now.
Yeah, they're open. But the place is packed.
Yes.
This hotel is mobbed with people.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
The line to get onto the monorail to head back to Magic Kingdom was just ridiculous.
Horrendous. It's going to be
It's going
to be interesting for us to try and get back to our car tonight because we have to take that monorail to get back to our car. We've had a wonderful day here at Disney World.
Yeah, we have.
Doing all kinds of fun stuff all day long.
And meeting all kinds of fun
people.
Gosh.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed the people. And by the way, all those people found us.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
today.
I couldn't have asked for more different people.
Yes.
And they're all fantastic.
True.
That's what Disney World's about, though. It brings people together from all over the place.
So we're sitting here on an absolutely beautiful, it's almost chilly night here in Florida, and we're sitting at the
Polynesian. By our standards.
Yeah, we're sitting at the beach at the Polynesian, and we're waiting for the fireworks over the Magic Kingdom, over the castle.
Yeah, we can start to see the castle glowing in like a bluish purple light. Same thing as Space Mountain's kind of glowing too, and it's just really, really pretty. You can also see the Grand Floridian from where we are, and the Contemporary from where we are. So you have a wonderful view.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a nice end to the night, and we're going to come back here in just a minute. We're going to let you hear a little bit of the fireworks, and we're going to come back in just a minute. And what we're going to do, we kind of decided this today, is that we are going to do a wrap up a couple days after our event to give so we have some time to think about it.
Yeah.
And give you
Absorb
highlights,
the
right?
lessons
And that'll
of our
be up.
journey.
That'll be up here in a couple of minutes. Our post 10-in-1 wrap.
But I can at least say that our first 10-in-1 was a success.
It was. We were on time. We made
Most of the
it.
day.
It was well planned because I did it.
Actually, true story. I give him credit. Massive credit.
And I have a wonderful co-host, so thanks a bunch.
Oh, thank you. Yay.
10,000 years to give you such a crick in the neck. Hello, people. I'm here. Come on. We've got some wishes to grant.
Hey guys, it is the next morning.
The day after.
We are running on 11,000 cups of coffee for myself. Glenn has doubled up on the 5-hour energies.
Yeah, I don't do coffee, but I do 5-hour energy. Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
You just heard the fireworks, and they were beautiful watching them from the Polynesian. I recommend that to anybody.
Yes, it was
beautiful.
gorgeous.
It was beautiful. But the problem we had was after that you didn't hear, was that we then had to get on another monorail for 4 stops till we got off to the tram to our car. We got back. I got to the hotel at 11.
Guys, you can't see his face right now, but he has the most tired face on I've ever seen.
We started at 8:30 in the morning. We had we're going to do these wrap-ups the day after the adventure every month, because it'll give us a little bit of a night to sleep on it and reflect on what we did.
Our brain cells to catch up on what the heck we just did.
In the alcohol episodes.
Oh my God.
We a couple things we learned is if you do this adventure, 10 things and free things to do in one day at Disney World, you're nuts.
You're absolutely insane.
Maybe cut it back to
there's no
2 or 3.
I mean, we started pretty early, and it's still, for how late we ended, wasn't early enough.
We would not have been able to do this without John the Geek and Rhonda, our friends who are Disney fanatics, and they helped us put the schedule together, because you could not have winged this. You wouldn't have made it.
No way. I mean, and there were so many other things that we didn't really think about until it kind of started happening, like all of the security checks and back checkpoints and all that stuff.
I counted last night.
Did you?
We went through 7 security checks yesterday.
It felt like 47.
Every time we were getting on a boat of transportation, there was a security check.
Guys, seriously, to go from one boat to the next boat. Okay, there's an explanation for that. Because he has his little phone case looped in on the boat.
And almost every one I had to get wanded because I was wearing shorts that had metal buckles on them. And it was like, oh, jeez.
So I'm the one with the big bag. I'm getting through before he is.
Microphones, things that look like dynamite. And you're not getting stopped. I am wearing the wrong shorts and I'm getting stopped.
Yep, that's how it happened,
held us up.
guys. It did.
It held us up. We weren't counting on that.
But what was nice is, though, so many times, like, first of all, let's start with the weather. We had the prediction that the weather was going to be awful.
100% chance of rain.
And we had a backup plan of maybe doing things Sunday if it was a little bit better. I mean, we
just didn't want you to hear all about Florida with
the rain and the wind and the
in the background.
And no one wanted to stop to talk to us because they're running from one thing to or people falling. But the weather it couldn't have been more gorgeous.
Perfect. It was the best day we've had in 5 months here in Florida.
Oh my gosh, so that was amazing. And then also when we went to go catch a bus or catch a boat, I don't think we waited longer than 10 minutes for anything. And some of them were right there.
No,
we just practically walked on.
Thank you, John and Rhonda. I don't know if you called ahead, but we appreciate it.
I know, right? They put sensors in our watches when we weren't paying attention, so everyone knew when to come pick us up. It was perfect.
It was perfect. And then the people we met were so much fun, and they found us.
They really did.
All those people, all those guests you heard on the show earlier, all found us, and they were all different, and they were fun, and it was just cool.
We were a little bit nervous before we got started, like, how are we going to find people? It's going to be weird to approach them. So Glenn actually did something brilliant, and he put in the speediest order I've ever seen for
expensive t-shirts I've ever bought.
So we could look a little bit official over here. So we had matching T-shirts that drew a lot of good attention.
And our Finding Florida logo is just beautiful, and it shows up really well. And people are asking about it all day.
It was a conversation starter. So it actually made it easy.
People were asking about it.
It actually made it easy for us to make it easy for them, those who would talk to us, to actually approach us. So it was great. It worked out perfect. We had some great interviews on this one. Oh my God.
We met some neat people. And then we met some of the people later on in the day, which at Disney World you never have.
I know. And the the millions of people in the parks, we ran into the same Joy, April, and Tanya that you heard. We ran into them later at the Floridian bar of all random places.
It wasn't random for them. They were on a mission.
They were on a mission. It was a good time. So were we. So
it was fun. It was a good time. I was shocked. A couple things I was shocked at was the Polynesian village last night was packed. The place was packed.
It was overflowing. I thought it was going to collapse under the weight of all the people that were there.
I always go to the resort hotels during the day, and then you have lunch or whatever, and it's not busy at all because everybody's at the parks. This place was packed.
Absolutely packed.
I don't know that we could appreciate the Polynesian actually with everything they had done there because it was so crowded.
But I know this doesn't go along with the whole free thing, but we had dinner there, and it was delicious.
Yeah, we just went to the counter service.
I highly recommend the coconut meatballs. They were yummy. So
the
good.
fried rice was good. So yeah, it was good.
It was good stuff. Yeah. And there was a movie going on for the kids. You know what? I bet you that's another free thing that parents can do. Bring the kids. They show the movie right there on the big screen.
And you don't even have to stay there to watch it.
No.
And almost all the resorts do the movies at night.
So yeah, that's another cool thing to add to the list. Lion King last night.
Yeah, and the kids were just sitting on the lawn having a blast.
Behaving themselves, guys.
But going to the beach was really cool. I'd never done that before.
Nice.
To watch the fireworks. And my God, we have to look up how much they spend on fireworks at Disney World Park.
Because they do it at 9 o'clock and at 10 o'clock.
And it was like...
it went on and on and on in a good way.
They do it at multiple parks. It was just incredible.
It's insane.
The one nice thing about watching it from the Polynesian is they do pipe in the music that they play at the park. So you got to hear the music. You heard a little bit of that actually a couple minutes ago.
And you get to see that water parade in front of you too as it's going. So we got to see the water parade with the big dragon and all this other stuff come by right before the fireworks got started. It was really cool. Yeah, really cool vantage point.
It really was. I overall I would say it was a very successful first adventure. Thanks to our listeners who helped put this together for us, and now we hope you do as well for the next one.
Yeah, they helped us find all those little hidden treasures, which I must mention really quick.
What was your favorite part of the day?
I'm about to mention it. My favorite part of the day was going to my own personal mecca of the Lego store in Disney Springs.
Yeah, you were pretty much in heaven.
Oh my, I did not want to leave. I was so happy there. Words cannot express. I've been a Lego fan since I was a kid. And they have these little kiosks throughout the store that are just jam-packed full of minifigure body parts, basically, right? And so you can just dig through and just build your own. And so Glenn and I and Jessica and Roger, we all built our own little mini Lego figures, and it was really fun. It was really, really cool. I managed to find a pair of binoculars for both of us. So we, true to our Finding Florida
logo.
Yeah, true to the Finding Florida podcast logo, we're now carrying binoculars as little Lego people. And that's actually funny. I was actually singing to my son the other day. I made up a song off the cuff about me being a Lego person. So it kind of fit. Now I can actually bring one home and say, see, I told you so. That was my favorite part. What was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was with our fans, Roger and Jessica, who came along with us. They rode the boat over with us to New Orleans.
Did.
They hung out with us. They did that little segment where we asked them trivia questions, which we're going to do in every show. I think that was my favorite because that's what we really want to happen. We really want you guys to come out to our various adventures around Florida. We want to meet you. We want you to be part of the adventure. That's part of what fun this show is going to be. And I think that you can see that I think it was them and the people we met.
Right.
I mean, starting at the beginning of the day from the first guest you heard from Africa.
They couldn't have been more different throughout the day.
To our New Yorkers at the end of the day going to have a wild night.
A wild time and carry each other out of Epcot.
Funny
it was
and
so
fun.
much fun.
That was my favorite part. And I think that's going to be our favorite part going. It's not seeing the monuments or whatever we're going to end up doing, right? It's meeting the people.
Yeah.
It's meeting the people.
Yeah, and actually opening their eyes to what's in their own backyard, like what happened with Jessica and Roger yesterday. You guys are not going to believe this.
Our mission statement for this show is to have Floridians realize that there's a ton of cool, not very expensive stuff to do right where they live.
Right.
And I'm not even sure Jessica wants me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, if she knows me. She wrote, thanks so much for inviting us. We had a great time. It was so funny because Roger's exact comment was that he could never have thought to come out here to Disney Springs, even though they live right around the corner. We're currently hanging out at Disney Springs and we're watching a dance show. So fun. So, and then she wrote, I think Finding Florida will be a hit because there's so much on there that you wouldn't think to do, and we always have people visiting and never know what to do. So she said that she's really excited about the show and learning what you can do in Florida, because everywhere in Florida is within a day drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, no matter where you live, we're kind of all guilty of the same thing. We don't explore our own backyard.
Right.
There's so many wonderful things to do in our own towns. I know for me, I get a lot of flack when people say, oh, you must go to the beach every day. I'm like, not really.
Yeah, you grew up there.
I know, it's so stupid. But, but that's true of no matter who you are, no matter where you live.
There's horse things I have not done in Ocala, and I do shows on horses. So there you go.
So we each have our own problems.
Yeah.
But so with this podcast, not only can Floridians find what's going on in their own backyard, they can find out what's going on a hop, skip, and a jump away, because Florida's like one big city. There's always something within an hour or two, something else new to explore. But then just like Jessica was saying, when you have people visiting from out of town, you got to entertain them. And so this will help people find all those hidden jewels and fun things that they can use to entertain their visitors. So, this podcast is going to be so much fun.
We want you to follow along on Facebook. Where do they go?
Okay, so go to the Finding Florida podcast Facebook page.
And that's where we'll be posting our next adventure in the next couple days. So you want to tune in because you're going to help vote on what that is.
Exactly. And there's also a new group that we want to introduce you guys to on Facebook called FPN Insiders. And as the early adopters of the Florida Podcast Network shows, then you guys can all just jump into that group and become some of the first to get like that inside scoop and find out where are we going to be, what are we going to do, what's next on the horizon.
Talk to each other about what you're doing in Florida.
Yes, please let us know what you're doing, what you think of, who was your favorite guest on this episode. You can share that there. So lots of fun ways for us to interact and get to know each other better.
And also on our show notes, go to findingfloridapodcast.com. You'll find the links to everything we talked about, all of our social media.
Tons of pictures.
On there. That's another thing we wanted to mention is we took pictures all along the way. The only place you're going to see the pictures and see all of them is on our show notes for today's episode.
Because we sprinkle a few teaser ones on social media, but the gamut will be on the show notes.
I think you're going to enjoy the pictures. So definitely check out the pictures. We thank you so much for joining us on our first adventure.
10 free things to do in Disney.
Using only Disney transportation.
And we're exhausted.
Buses, monorails, boats. Buses, monorails, boats.
Oh, bye. And here's to your next adventure.
As Walt Disney said, Disneyland will never be complete. And as the future will show us, with enough imagination, it will continue to build and grow on one enduring promise, that all who journey into its magical gates will feel forever young. And the magic, as Walt assured us, will never end.